We are about to order the new transporter, and because we order and build the vans as camper vans, I thought it'd be really good to basically take you on the journey of what we've considered, what we're worried about, and there's quite a lot to consider with the new transporter because it's different. It's a shared chassis, it's a shared venture with Ford, and as a result of that, it throws up a load of questions. First off, why listen to me? I own 3 T6.1s which are rented out as camper vans. Before that, I had my first T5, which had done 300,000 miles, and I think that was like Trigger's broom. I think I fixed every single part on that van and ended up like a new van. That was a Caravelle. Yeah, we went all over in that. We went Switzerland, Italy, France when the kids were younger, and it was a great van. I genuinely loved the van. Then we had a T6, T6.1. I sort of bought and sold and sort of flipped a few vans before eventually buying direct from Volkswagen brand new and actually converting them. We also own a MAN TGE, aka Volkswagen Crafter. And if you follow the channel, you'll already know we've done lots of videos on fitting electrical equipment and us driving about and traveling about in our van. So as a result of that, we know what all the niggles are. Even on the new T6.1, I'll go through them in a moment and let you know what some of the common faults were that we've had. First off, what's it called? It's not actually a T7, it's called the new transporter. So yeah, they're not calling it a T7. Now, the niggles that we had on the T6.1 were the knock sensor. That went on both the 22 plate and the other 22 plate. We've not had that issue on the 21 plate. So I've got a 21 plate high line, and then I've got two 22 plates, they're Start Line Business Edition. The other issue we've had is the trim on the captain seats. So the factory fitted captain seats, the trim on them has come off a number of times and broke. So that was another annoying thing on the T6.1. There's been a few recalls on things like the door rubbers, and I think there was an issue with locks freezing, things like that. There was also something on an update of the ECU on the engine management. But all in all, the T6.1 has been a great van. So the first question I had was, the Transit is out. I can go and look, sit in. I've seen it on the road. I'm starting to get a feel for whether I do or don't like that van. So my first question was, what are the differences? These are the differences that make a difference to me, and I think they'll make a difference to you too as well. The engine, gearbox and drive, so the 4-wheel drive system, which was the 4Motion, is all Ford. The front is where you see the bigger differences. So the bonnet, the lights, the grille and the bumper are all totally different. So from the front, it looks very, very different than the Transit. From the rear, it's the same. So the tailgate, the lights are all different, but from the side, it looks very, very similar. And that is a benefit, and I'll come back to why that is. LED lights now come as standard, and there's two options. You've got the standard LED lights, and then you've got the LED lights that track when you turn a corner. We had it on our Mercedes A35. When you turn the corner, it kind of follows the corner, follows the undulation of the road, and also it'll dim when there's oncoming light, so you don't have to mess about with the headlights. The cab is very different, so all the finish in the cab, all the plastics and everything is very, very different. The steering wheel is very similar to the T6.1. So if you're coming from the existing T6.1, that will make you feel more at home. Infotainment system is totally different. And then although the seats are the same, so the mechanics of the seat, I believe there's some subtle differences with the foam, so the inside of it, but all the trims are totally different. Suspension is totally different, and there's some subtle differences in terms of the lock. So the little circular lock that you get on Transits, Volkswagen have now done it actually in the handle itself. The automatic version is the same as the Transit. It has the gear lever on the actual steering column. First up, the name. It's not called the T7, it's called the new Transporter. I've been reading through the forums for a while now on the different groups, and the biggest slating the van is getting is on the wet belt system. However, the new vans come with 5 years warranty, 5 services plus 3 MOTs, 5 years roadside assistance. Now, it doesn't make that much difference to me because by 5 years, I'll be wanting to upgrade to a new van. From my point of view, that gives me belt and braces that there's not going to be any issues. However, the reality is, when you are doing anything like this, if you are having a van that's got a lot of problems, whether they're electronical, mechanical, whatever, it's all well and good it being under warranty, but you've physically got to get it in to Volkswagen and get it booked in. And if Volkswagen is busy, which we've had this with our existing vans, you can be waiting quite a while to get your van in and fixed. And that is a big inconvenience. It's an inconvenience if it's your van and you're enjoying it as a camper van. But actually, if it's a van that you're renting out, it is a big pain in the ass. So warranties and all the rest of it, they're all well and good, but you want a reliable van that's not going to be in the mechanic's shop all the time getting fixed. So on the wet belt, from speaking to my contact at a dealership, I'm going to say Volkswagen, my contact at a dealership, obviously nobody wants to go on record about what is and isn't happening. What I do know from reading between the lines is that the benefit of the Transit being out for a while means that it's been given the chance to effectively learn from any little niggles and make improvements. So although there's no confirmed change or amendments, because that would admit that there was an issue, there have been changes. Now, what they are, I don't know, but I know from people that have been on internal meetings that that is the case. So I'm only going off what I've been told, but there are going to be improvements with the new engine, and that's a benefit for me. I think you see it with phones, for example. Apple don't always jump on the bandwagon with the latest piece of technology. They wait and see what happens and then learn from what does and doesn't work, and then they make improvements. So I think it's that sort of old chestnut of buying the first one of something is always a little bit risky. But then after a year, when it's bedded in and all the niggles have been sorted out, it's actually a benefit because it's all been seen, it's all been covered, and a lot of the sort of early niggles are not your niggles. Residual value. This is a tricky one. So I actually run a branding agency. So I actually do a lot around brand strategy and understanding brands and things like vision, mission, values, and all these kind of things that you work on in a brand. And when you look at a brand, I'd sort of put it like this. A brand is what they say about you when you're not in the room. So it's a reputation, and it's a number of different things. It could be a visual reputation. It could be a smell. And years ago, brands used to be able to be in very good control of their brand because they could market it, and it was very much, we put it out, we put it on TV, we put it in the magazines. Now, as consumers, we are very much in control, and the brand actually relies very heavily on people like us that are buying the vehicles, and to a certain degree, what goes in the forums and what's kind of said, because that's their reputation as well. And Volkswagen as a brand has had its ups and downs. It's been tarnished on a few things, but it's a strong brand nonetheless. The Transporter brand is very strong. So there's a real click from the people that own it. Anyone who's had a Transporter and drove down the road for that first time, and you get people doing the wave or letting on or whatever. If you've been camping and you've been to any meets, like you feel like you're in a group, everyone chips in and helps each other out. So there's a real strong brand and community around that actual vehicle. The brand language, everything from the sort of, that kind of shape from the T4 through to the T5, it had a very particular look, and it had this look of kind of cloth being, pulled very tightly around corners. It was very angular, but also had these really nice kind of sweeps to it. Proportion of like the B pillar. There's just very particular characteristics of that kind of van across all those different models that actually gave it great longevity. So if you look at the difference from the T5 to the T6.1, they were very similar. They were like very small iterations, but that actually give you comfort because the residual values on those vans as a result of that seem to all stay pretty strong. And with that, I give you the first reality check. This is happening, it's happened. So if you aren't going to buy the new Transporter, what are you going to buy? You're either going to buy a Transit, which is the same van with different badge and a few other differences on it, or you're going to go with the Stellantis platform and go with a Citroen, Volkswagen, Fiat, whatever's under that kind of platform. So you've not really got any other option other than to hold on to your T6.1. And that brings me on to one of the benefits. In the forums, whenever there's a new platform coming in or a new van, you always have the kind of lovers and the haters. And a few people like me that are just sitting on the fence a little bit and was unsure what to do. And there brings a benefit. I think until people settle in and start to kind of be won over by the new transporter, I think the values on the T6.1s are going to really be strong and really hold. You've not been able to order a new T6.1 for quite a while now, so there's going to be a lot of demand for those actual vehicles. Another one of the downsides that I spotted was the wheel size. So the wheels are thinner, which gives a positive of having more room in the actual vehicle itself, but the wheel sizes are going to be smaller. What you'll find is that kind of T6.1 with the huge wheels on having a really sort of great curb appeal might not be able to get that look with the new Volkswagen Transit. So that's something I'm kind of keeping an eye on to see, like, what's that sweet spot on the wheel and tyre tread wall height combination, to see what that kind of really nice kind of sporty look on the van is going to be. So what are the positives? The biggest positive I see is that that shared platform means that you're going to have more people that own the vans that can come together as a community and provide feedback and provide videos on how to convert them to camper vans, how to fix any niggles. You will get a faster response on anything in the forums for things that are happening. You know, the number of sales on Transporter to Transits is wildly different. They sell way more Transits. So actually you've got a bigger pool of people that can have input and come together and fix things together. So I see that as a massive benefit for the joint venture. The other benefit is when a new vehicle comes out, there's usually this kind of like waiting window whilst the manufacturers are building some mods and products for the van. So things like pop tops, side rails, windows, inner plastic trim, exterior plastic trim, bumper modifications, basically anything that'll make it look more like a kind of finished or modded van. You know, remember when you pick your plain van up from Volkswagen, it usually looks pretty naff. And I think the thing that's spurring me on is when you actually have a look at the basic vans, they do look pretty good. And once we get a load of mods on there, tinted windows, I go for like the black B-pillar. Once you put your mods on that you make it look the way you want it to look, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. That's my hunch anyway. So the first thing I did was dig out an invoice from one of the existing vehicles that we've got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the costs for my previous vehicle and actually run through me configuring the vehicle the same way as what I would have done if I was to order a new vehicle with the specs that I need. We ordered, so on the 22 plate that we've got, we ordered a T28 panel van start line, short wheelbase. The colour was pure grey, best colour. The vehicle price was £24,905, excluding VAT. Volkswagen did a £300 deposit contribution. We had delivery of £640. There was no cost on the paintwork. There was no costs on any of the trim. We had the exterior pack, which was £700, so that's colour-coded bumpers. I think it was reversing camera as well on that one. The business pack, which was £1,045. Tailgate with window was free of charge. We had the bulkhead delete. There was no charge on that. The swivel seat in cab and on the driver and the swivel seat cab passenger was £110 each, so it was £220 for both of the factory fitted swivel seats. We upgraded to the carpet covering in the front. Just gives you a bit of extra insulation in the front as well and kind of reduces any road noise. We were also given some discount, just says new discount, which was £1,348. Cost of number plate was £36. First registration fee was £55. And then we had 12 months road fund license, £275. So the total cost was £26,627.50. And then there was £5,259 VAT. So the total figure was £31,887. So straight away, knowing the price that we paid for that, I've been on the phone to them today. The new models, so it used to be Start Line, and then it would go to High Line. Now it's Commerce, Commerce Plus, and Commerce Pro. And if you go into the drop down and go from through the engine types, and you go through to diesel, this is what we've got. We did look at electric. We looked at the ID Buzz as a bit of a novel van to have, but I just don't think it's that practical. A lot of our customers are going to do the NC500, they're going to Cornwall. I just don't think it's that practical as a camper van yet, until battery technology gets a little bit better. So just looking at this, body coloured bumpers, looks like it's on the Commerce Plus. A leatherette wrapped multifunction steering wheel, parking sensors front and rear view camera, anti-theft alarm system, so rear view camera is just on the door. Parking sensors front and rear view camera, anti-theft alarm system, interior monitoring, backup horn and towing protection. So why would I not go up to what was the Highline and go to Commerce Pro? Alloy wheels, waste of time. Wheels come off, I put new wheels on, so that's just a waste of money. Right, let's give it a go. First thing that stands out is the price straight away. It's 40 grand. So straight away there's a big difference. Let's configure it. Just for the purpose of the video, and to be honest, what we're going to order, let's stick to the T28 because that's what we've had previously. Manual automatic. This is interesting. When we spoke to Ford about the Transit, because we looked at it and we were looking at possibly getting one early doors to see and understand the platform. The automatic version was only about an extra 2,700 quid. Now, normally with a VW, it's usually about 4 or 5 grand. So be interested to see what the difference is. Just click the T28 because that's similar to what we've already got. Exterior, we'll go with the grey. Incidentally, why do we go with the grey? We've had black cars before and they're a nightmare. You get swirls. Literally, if you've had a black car, you'll know the pain, but you wash it and the next day it just looks filthy. White's the same, usually get a couple of days before it starts looking dirty, but yeah, the grey's been really good. I've been dead happy with that. So instead of being called a pure grey, it's now called a stone grey. And then you've got the interior, and the first thing we've got is whether we go with 2 seats or we go with 3 seats. Now, the reason I go with 2 seats is I just find the vans as a camper van are way more usable. The 3 seats are great, especially if you've got 2 kids and you want one kid in the front with your partner and a kid in the back and all the rest of it. But they are quite stiff, you sit up quite high, and it is a bit more fiddly to turn the double seat around rather than the single seat. I just really like that kind of being able to move through the van and walk through from the back to the front when you've got the 2 captain seats. So let's see if you can actually have the factory fitted swivel seats because you couldn't with Ford. When I asked them, they said they're not doing it. So that's straight away another additional cost that you've got to pay. So on the interior, if I want to go for the double seats and I click into that, if I pick the double seats, I've also got to have the heated seats, which is an additional 1230, connectivity package, which is 12-volt outlet on the D pillar at bottom rear right, 5 additional USB-C charging ports, wireless mobile charging, which is cool. Interior trim style, so I don't know what that is, but that's another 630. I presume it's the way the seats are finished. Illuminated glove compartment, lockable, 30 quid. Footwell lighting in cab, illuminated metal scuff plate in cab. How posh. So we'll now update the visual, and that's the way it's looking. But that's looking pretty good. So this was interesting. We obviously sell Clayton electrical systems, which now will integrate with the ID Buzz. But I know because this is now a platform that also has an electric vehicle, you are getting a lot of additional extras. Now there's a 230-volt converter with outlet on the back of the driver's seat. It's only a 400 watt inverter, but it's just 216 quid. So that sounds pretty good. Sliding door on front passenger side with electric closing aid. 228 quid for electric sliding door, that's not bad. That's not a bad shout. But I am worried that the base van is already really expensive, so this is going to get expensive, this. Navigation system is an extra 762 quid. Not needed because we've all got phones and we just plug it in through Apple CarPlay. The upgraded LED lights, so it comes with LED lights as standard, but the upgraded LED headlamps, which include LED daytime running light with cornering light and poor weather light, is an extra 318. I did really like that on the Mercedes that we had, but I'm going to leave that off for now. So what I do need to put in is rear tailgate. So instead of the barn doors, you want the tailgate. It's way better for being under the van when it's raining and all that kind of stuff. Interesting on the off-road side of it. Steel underbody cladding for engine and transmission, 342 quid. We won't be going for that. I've automatically had to check this, the illuminated glove compartment, because I've gone for the captain seats in the front. So the main thing in the cargo area is without partition. Yeah, if you've ever bought a van and converted one with a bulkhead, you've got to unscrew the bulkhead, and on the T6.1 there was a bit of like angle grinding that was needed at the bottom to remove some of the welding, which fairly simple to do, but it's another half day, so you want to try and minimize what you've got to do in terms of your conversion. Now, this is something that you can pay for. So it's a rear view mirror with a digital display and dash cam function, but it's an extra 1,300 quid, so that won't be getting to it. So here's a big one. You've either got single zone air conditioning or you've got dual zone, just single zone, 480 quid. It goes up to 1,050 quid for dual zone. So 480 quid for your aircon. Safety and security, the only thing that I've spotted there is keyless access with safe lock. I'm just going to leave that off. Temporary spare wheel, we do want that. Windows, you do want the heated rear window. It'll save you putting the glass in. It's 198 quid. So you're probably going to pay something near that for a rear window anyway. So it's going to save you fitting it and all the rest of it. Heated windscreen, yeah, I'd like that if it was my van, but it's a rental van, so and interestingly, ladder on right rear wing of door. If you had the off-road van, that would be a nice option. Not seen that, but it'd be worth looking at. So anyway, we're up to 45,468 quid. So let's look at the summary. So we've got the tailgate version with the glazing, and that comes with a window wiper. Basic wheels, with hubcaps because they're coming off. We've got the headlights, LED headlights. Let's have a look at the interior. So at the moment, this is listed as a manual. We're gonna have a look at what the auto is. We've got the double seats, we've got the bulkhead removed, and these seats look pretty swish. We've got the armrests. So with that vehicle, the full cost, if we look at the full price, is the basic price was 39,960 quid. We've then got the VD first year, 335. We've got your choice total, so that was all the mods that I put to it, 5,508 quid. Subtotal 45,468 quid. So that is the total. So it's 46, nearly 46 grand, 45.5 grand. Now I am tempted. What's kind of prompted me here is the headlamps. Because it's also got poor weather light, so it's 318 quid though, so pretty much I'm then pushing up to 46k, which is a lot of money for a van. The one thing I want to very quickly check is what the option is for automatic. So if I go to engine and then I click on automatic, so the low version is the T, so I've now got to go up to a T30 with the automatic. So I can't get a T28, I've got to go up to a T30, click on that. And it's quite a big jump compared to the Transit. So it's jumped up to 49,998 quid. So for an automatic, you are thrust into 50 grand. When you put the key sort of bits that you want on it. Let's have a look inside. So now I've not got the gear stick, and it'll be on the actual steering column now. Yeah, that's quite a jump. That's quite a jump, especially compared to the Transit. So I might have another look at the Transit and see what the options are. So I better get the boss over and see what she thinks. I know you've been listening in the background, right? We paid 31,000 for the 22 plate van, and the new van with automatic is 49,968. 50 grand, right? So that's all the key things that we'd want, you know, twin captain seats. It's not confirmed whether they're actually spinnable yet, so I'll put a comment in the bottom about that. I'm quite shocked that the automatic is such a big jump. If I go back here,
yeah, but I think we always knew it was around 4K-ish. I think it was just because we were comparing it to the Transit.
So this is the decision. I think this is what is interesting about this video. You know, whether you're buying it for a camper van that you're renting out or whether you're buying it for yourself, you're going to be looking at this now and going, do I jump in with the Volkswagen brand because residual values, you know, a bit more kind of like curb appeal, you know, I've got a Volkswagen, all the rest of it, or indeed you like the look? It's tricky. I think the front look of the Transit is really nice. You know, those like tight sweeping headlights does give it a different look, and I like it. You know, it's been on the road now for a little bit, and I do really, really like it. And I think with the Ford as well, you know, changing out the grille and doing a few other things with it could, you know, kick that van on in terms of the aesthetics from the outside and make that look really different. So if we were going to go for the automatic version, I wonder what the cost difference would be when I go through all that now. But
The Transit?
yeah, now, I wasn't planning on doing this, but why not? Well, this turned into a different video than what I was expecting to make. Kate's given up and gone and put her pyjamas on, so she's had enough. To summarise, the things that I've been looking into, the difference between the manual and the auto on both platforms. So on the Volkswagen, manual is 44,268 quid. The Ford is 43,264 quid. So it's only a difference of £1,000 between the Volkswagen manual and the Ford manual. And that's based on the specs that I feel people will need for a camper van, to convert to a camper van. Both those are 110 brake or 81 kilowatts, so they're 110 brake on the engines. The difference is negligible, £1,000. On the auto, it's different. The Volkswagen is 48,768 and the Ford is 46,060 quid. So it's a difference of 2,708. Call it's nearly £3,000 difference. However, the Volkswagen is 150 brake and the Ford is 136 brake. It's not enough to make that much of a difference, but it is worth mentioning. However, the finance is very different. So on the Ford, the finance is 1.9 and on the Volkswagen it's 6.9. However, on the Volkswagen, they do give a £2,500 contribution on the finance on their PCP. There's lots to kind of weigh up really. It's not straightforward. So to summarise for you, I think the things to consider are there's a quite a bigger jump if you're going for the automatic, so that is something to really think about. And the other thing is the APR, so 1.9 versus 6.9 on the finance. However, there is that £2,500 contribution from Volkswagen. Weigh it up. What would you do? I'm going to have a sleep on it. I'm really not sure. I think I'm sort of edging towards the Volkswagen. Purely because I'm hoping that all the little tweaks and updates with the engine has been made, and I feel that the Volkswagen brand is going to be a better brand to kind of stick in with. I also think the interior is going to be a bit better. Adding up those little bits, even though we would be looking at buying a number of vans, I think it would work out better. And I think what you've got to bear in mind as well is I watch a lot of YouTube videos and I do a lot of research, and I'm sort of up on the van platforms and things like that. But your average punter might not be that bothered. They will just maybe look at it, especially in the rental side of it, and go, I want to rent a Volkswagen camper van, let's go for the new one. Brilliant, these guys have got the new shape Volkswagen camper vans, I'm in. And that's that. So I'm trying to sort of think ahead from that point of view. Yeah, what do you think? Get in the comments. This is the one video where like I want people to get into the comments and let me know what they think. I'm knackered. Kate's give up, she's put pajamas on. But yeah, thanks for listening if you got this far, and I would genuinely really value your comments. Cheers, guys.